This is a shakedown.
What's going on, everyone? This is your guy, Pat Bernard, a.k.a. The Gobbler, with my right-hand man, Steve Fuentes. Steve, what's going on, my friend?
It's nice we do this on Thursday night now instead of Sunday morning, so that on losses like Saturday, there's time to calm down and let cooler heads prevail, right? But no, I'm doing good, able to look forward to Atlanta, because that's all you can really do right now, right?
Well, you know what? That's one thing about It's a Wrap Sports, the hottest thing going right now. Guys, first of all, if you haven't yet done it, please do it now, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, wherever, TikTok. Subscribe to us. Become part of the It's the Rap Sports Network family, because, like I said, this thing's rocking and rolling right now. But Steve, I want to. I mean, obviously the Phillies won, and that's so far. Obviously, that's what we're doing around here. But we got to get in some Union soccer, because it hasn't been pretty, as you open up your statement. It hasn't been cute and fun and warm and fuzzy, because this team in three straight games now has yet to even get a goal. This is life without Gazag, and this now questions why they went with this transfer. This questions what are we going to do with that money in return? Where is it going to go? Is it going to go towards practice facility? We're talking practice. That's where we're going to go? Is it going to go to a practice urinal where guys like me, who went after these kind of losers, will just dive their face right into it? I mean, this is the kind of losses that suck, okay? This is the kind of losses that we should be bouncing off the mat from. You go into New York, and again, this team might have to find, again, come up with a way to bounce back without Gazda. And you're going to solely rely on Ty Baribo to be your problem solver. And that's not going to cut it, because there's going to be days where he's unfortunately not going to find the back of the net. To me, if anything, you make the opposition now easier to break you down on film. Here goes one note to do: stop Ty Baribo, and that's it. That's all you have to worry about. They don't have a backup plan. There's not a plan B as an executioner for this Union team. Oh, of course, our right hand man Adam C's checking us. What's
Hold
up,
on,
Pat?
Adam.
What's up, dog? So, but
And
yeah, I mean,
it,
so what do you take out of this?
it's like you said, it's life without Danny. It's life without Gazdag, and I think um, even before Gazdag had gotten traded, you said it. This was the what, 2 games now with no goals. They only put up one against Miami, so
Yes.
it's night and day difference from the beginning of the season. Those first 3 matches, they put up what, or 4 matches, they put up like 10 goals, right? They were sitting in first place. Now they're sitting in 5th place in the East. And so you've talked about it in the past. Do they have the blueprint on it as the incoming opponent each week? Have they figured out, oh, this is what you need to do to stop it? And I know you talked about it on, or I commented on it on your show on Sunday, about how Glesnes just, he can't be that far. He can't be that high on that goal. Where now Rick has to come out and play, hero, and Harriel's playing lazy. Everyone's kind of just finding their footing. I don't know if Harriel is still coming back from that injury and still dealing, with getting in shape from that, but he has just looked not himself lately, and I feel like it's not even Ty right now who is leading this team. I feel like it especially against NYC, FC, it was Quinn. Quinn was doing a lot of trying to create, which almost made it look like he was doing too much. But it just seemed like he was playing out of gear that everyone else wasn't. And I don't know exactly what it's going to take. I don't know if Bruno and Ty need more minutes together to mesh, but this like you said, this life without Gazdag and this post Gazdag era is going to be interesting, and I don't know, because I don't think Indy's the guy.
No, so before we go anywhere, we got to give a quick shout out to our man Frankie James. Don't you know? Don't you know? Of course, we love that guy. He's awesome. He says, "Well, I see you boys Saturday at the game." You
Yes,
may.
sir.
I know we put it in. So, yeah, you should definitely check us down there at the game Saturday night. But yeah, I want to get into what you're just talking about, Steve. You broke this game pretty well. And again, the honeymoon phase with the Brad Cornell thing is over. They've
It's over.
there's tape on there's tape now on his playbook, and now it sounds like there's a hole in the page where it says continue, because this team hasn't continued to move on. I feel like we're stuck between a rock and a hard place because, again, it was all about high-powered offense. Again, the first game, couple of games, you're averaging 4 to 5 goals a game. And now, moving on from a guy last year in Dylan Gonzalez who led the league in penalty kicks, he was one of the top playmakers last year. You move on from him, and you give him to a contender. You give him to a rival, which now is probably going to stop you in your tracks within first or second round of the playoffs. Hindsight looking down the road. The whole idea for them to get Gaza is to compete with Miami, to make sure Miami is not going to be a roadblock for them. And you gave them your hand and to what we got back. So, I mean, is this team's already selling without even saying it? Because now you find yourself struggling. You're bringing up puppies from the Union too, guys like, Chris Olney and a couple other kids. And it's like, this at the end of the day, this is a man's game. No disrespect to the young teens out there, but this is this is the big boy land, and I don't know what's going to happen. And now, like I've heard Uncle Johnny, good old Uncle Johnny, asking the hard questions, and it's like, how's this team bounce back? And the Bradley Cornell answer is the same. Like, oh, they're competing through Monday through Friday, blah 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 blah. Yeah, but again, but you're using puppies though. You're using young puppies.
Conferences.
What's that?
He doesn't give the media much in those conferences.
No, not at all. So again, it's kind of like, so, how does it? And the big question is, like you just said, he plays all the defense, all the center backs up front, and there's nobody in the back guarding the goaltender. You leave him on an island, and I'm seeing this in a few games now. I've seen this at least to 2-3 games where Glaznes and Harry are up front trying to help the offense out when there's no one in the back. So when someone gets a long stretch pass, there's no, someone's on the breakaway, someone's off the rush, and they're it's just between them and the goaltender at that point. And then you're in trouble in paradise. It's trouble in paradise. I've seen it multiple times. Multiple. And now with what Bradley Cornell said, Andre Blake is going to be a game time decision.
Yeah.
How does a team prepare for that? I don't want to go down this. I don't want to go down this avenue already. And please, Union fans, don't get mad for me for saying this. This is a little too early now. Andre Blake's getting a little older. This is starting to become the great talent. We won't take anything from him. One of the best goaltenders in the history of MLS. But this is becoming a little bit of the Embiid saga. This is becoming, he's really very talented, but I don't know how many games we're going to see him with all the the games we're going to be taking out through the course of the year and all that stuff. How much are we going to really see of Andre? And that's what's going to be. And today, like I said, I was really aggravated. And I'm still a little aggravated. I voted and I vouched for this guy, but Rick, after giving up that goal, he gets up and it looks like he's yelling at his defense. And I'm saying to myself, yo, kid, you're wet behind the ears. You came all the way out to the 18 to make a stop. Rookie or not, fundamental soccer. You don't do that. You don't leave your net open. Against Alonso Martinez, you come all the way out to the 18 to try and make a stop? Where do you get the chest hairs to start yelling at your defense when it was your mistake? Like, come on, dude.
That's why I think with Glesnes and Harriel being so far up and high, they put Rick in that position to have to come out. And if that's going to be the tactical move to play your center backs up that high, like he does with Glesnes isn't the same guy he used to be. He's not going to be able to sprint back and get back on defense like he could 3-4 seasons ago. So if that's the tactical move, you don't have the right personnel for it. And if Harriel's just getting back into shape from the injury he had, the lower body injury, then yeah, you don't have the right guys. Your other starting center back is out with an injury with the torn meniscus that he's recovering from. So it's not looking. Luckily, they're going up against a struggling Atlanta team who we're going to talk about in a little bit. But you only have so many of these games that you can get right, that you can find whatever sort of cohesion and chemistry with all these new pieces that, whether it be who's going to be the new leader, who's going to step up defensively, is it going to be Rick? Is it going to be Blake in goal? Because that's a big thing. And yeah, he may be, he very well may be at fault for coming out, but I like the intensity from Rick because it's almost like enough is enough, right? If no one else is going to say it, then I'll say it. I'll do what Andre would have said and done. And so I was glad to see that fire in trying to get in under one of these guys, whether it was Glesnes or Harriel or Magana, who he was talking to. He was trying to light a fire under someone's ass, so someone had to.
Yeah, and listen, I get it. I just thought it might have been like the wrong place and time. But anyway, no, I mean, listen, regardless, I don't think it's the defense. I just think it's the way the formation is. Like you said, all the center backs going up front and leaving your goaltender on an island. That needs to be a conversation between you and the head coach behind closed doors. Like, again, like, yo, I'm left on an island. I have no one here to protect me. I mean, me trying to stop you expect me to stop a 2-on-1 situation? You expect me to stop Messier? Like, it's not going to work. Like, and Messier is going to get his. Orlando Martinez is going to get his. Like, when is the team? Yeah, I mean, so this again, it's just sad. Again, like I said, 3 games now, 1 goal to show for it, 3 losses out of it, or no, 2 losses, 1 draw. You're sitting at the 5th seed. Again, I thought they usually have NYCFC's number for the last
That's
5
what
out of
hurts
6
the
games.
most.
You usually so again, I don't want to look at the standings because on paper, Atlanta's 2-3-3. And on paper, It looks like this is going to be an easy W, a day at the beach. But no, because your eyes and my eye test tell us they don't have the firepower to be what they once were. And moving on from one of the top goal scorers in the league, yeah, you expect a lot of L's, Philly. You expect a lot of L's. And it's not the way we want the season to go. And hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully they can turn around this weekend and get back to the win column. But looking at Bradley Cornell's face and our guy Dave Malata asked him, Junior asked him, like, when's this team expect to get back in the win column? And he's like, he gives the whole spiel. And in his face, to me, he doesn't look that confident. So
he already looks like someone on the hot seat.
He seems like this should be a question for Mr. Tanner to answer. No, not him. So I like Bradley Cornell's message. I like, he's having the team compete Monday through Friday with each other and pushing each other and playing hard. I like the spiel, but it's not going to pay off if talent's talent at the end of the day. Like, again, if you don't have Ty Bariba, like Miguel Ua is becoming back of a milk carton. He's nowhere to be found. And after that,
I was just getting ready to ask you about him. Yeah, I was just getting ready to ask you about him. Where is he?
Yeah, right. He's on back of milk carton. And even Uncle Johnny, again, asks, like, to me, I guess they expect big things out of Quentin Sullivan. And to me, I love Quentin Sullivan, and I don't like making comparisons to other Philadelphia athletes, and I know a lot of Philadelphians don't want to hear this either, but to me, he's a Rojas right now. He can stretch the field. He's got great speed, but he can't find the back of the net. He can't. And that might chop some booty around here.
I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Hey, I'm going that low. I'm sorry, but Rojas can play defense. He's aggressive base running. Rojas can't hit. And to me, Quinn Sullivan, he can stretch the field. He can stretch the feet. He can stretch the field. He's got great speed. He hasn't found the back of the net.
To me, he was like the only guy. To me, he was like the only guy doing anything.
Yeah, well, he's a good facilitator too, and I don't want to take that away. So yeah, a little Rojas is a little bit too deep. Sorry, I just. Oh, Ricky is watching. Hey, Rick, how are you, sir?
Oh, Ricky's in the building. Ricky in the building.
Ricky. So yeah,
but I didn't realize Bueno had was dealing with a hamstring injury because until I heard that today, that he was one of my names that I wanted to ask you about. Why isn't he getting minutes? Why is he the odd man out on, bringing a spark? I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times in previous seasons, especially I feel like last season, and it might have been during Leagues Cup, where he would come in and he was an instant spark. He was scoring a goal almost every single game that he came in off the bench. But until I realized and heard that he was dealing with that hamstring issue, he's another person who I feel like deserves minutes. What do you feel about Bueno?
Oh, no, absolutely. Bueno could score. That's what this team needs. He's a great midfielder. Yeah. He can score. And you need guys right now desperately. And I don't want to be that guy, under 10 games in saying we're in panic mode for offense, but we are in panic mode after moving on from one of your top players in the league. Once you move on for him, it's kind of like you are pushing a panic button in the back of your mind. And it's like, all right, you're looking at the Union front office. Okay, well, now what's plan B? Well, we got, a couple $1 million. Yeah, but what are we going to do with it? Are we going to bring somebody in? Well, I was thinking about another practice field. I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to know that practice field in here.
I don't think they're going to bring anybody in. Not right now. I think it'll be summer. I think they're going to ride out. I think they're going to ride out, and I just think with Tanner and those in the front office, there's an ego involved, big time, right? And they want to see these new additions like Indy and Bruno and Danley, because Danley was a late addition last season. and Lukic. I think they really want to see how these guys can mesh and what they can do until the summer transfer window opens up and figure out where they're at from there. But I I think that this is what we see is what we're gonna get. So that's why I feel like they need to Ua needs to be the guy. He should be the guy that should be stepping up next to Ty um to ignite this offense. I mean, I just don't know how you can go from what they were like against Orlando, Cincinnati, and New England, those first 3 games, to what we're seeing now. Because defensively, they're not giving up a lot of goals. It's not like I mean, they still have a +4 goal differential. So, shocking as it is, the defense is there. It's just, I really don't have the answers or any suggestions other than these guys have to learn how to play with each other.
Yeah, I agree with you. Ricky, we are live now.
That's all there is too. It sucks that that's all that they can do right now is figure out how to play with each other, because you see that they can.
Yeah, well, listen, they can play, they can mesh pretty well together. They can play, they can get together, build. They have to build some chemistry, but to me, like you just said, the whole big puzzle, like you have Ua coming off the bench and relying on a bad move or a bad call. What am I saying? Yeah, it's not a bad move or a bad call to have your guys coming off the I understand you're bringing Ua off the bench as a late spark and having this kid, like you said, the Brandys and the Indianas and all those other kids try to step up and be playmakers. But I'll tell you what, if they go on a losing streak and they start to see empty blue chairs, Tanner will push the button somewhere. He's going to have to. Just like you said, just lately, 3 games and only have 1 goal to show for it. It sucks. This team needs to rise at the end of the day.
This is a rebound game. This is a good team. This is a good team to be able to rebound at home. First home game without Gazdag. Oof. Oof.
The sad part, Steve, we said this last week. This last week was supposed to be a rebounding game. And I get the weather played an X factor, but excuses out the window. A loss is a loss. And like you actually summed up pretty well. The defense is as ugly as it looks to you on an eyeball.
Yeah.
On paper, they've only give up 1 goal. They're not really getting smoked. The only time I saw them had an issue was against Nashville. But the score needs to make up. The score needs to come back around. And this is, hey, listen, this is kind of the rough patch that you want to see the Philadelphia Union go through. You want to see how can Bradley Carnell, losing down Gazdag, go live through a rough patch with the losing streak now. How's he going to get this team turned around? What's going to make him turn this thing around and become a great coach? Why? This to me will tell me why. Should tell us why you're here and Jim's not.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't find a way to get out of this rough patch, then the fans are going to look right and the front office is going to look wrong.
Yeah. And that's the last thing that Tanner wants.
No, he don't want that. I mean, he'll flare bump in that front office over there. So yeah, you don't want him to start flipping out. But no, I mean, like I said, it's a lot of questions to be answered, and I need Atlanta. Atlanta's good as a team that's usually their blueprint. Atlanta's blueprint identity is defense. They're a good defensive team. They were a team that snuck into the playoffs last year, caused havoc based on their defense, gave Miami issues. They are a sneaky good team, not on paper with only 2 wins, but with Philly struggling now on offense, we're going to see which one gives in. And hopefully we
I think
get it
their
right.
goalkeeper, though. I think their goalkeeper, Guzan, Brad Guzan. I think
Hold on, yeah.
he's scoreable on. So I think this is an ideal game for a tie, sneaky up front, um, header, a tie to tie, hopefully, connection sort of
Mm-hmm.
deal. But I think those are the sort of things they need to get back to. Nice set pieces. Danley just hasn't been himself, it feels like, with his passing the last few games. So he's another person who, the last few matches, you've seen that ball movement, right? The short, choppy passes, to hold
Mm-hmm.
possession. And I felt like against NYCFC, I felt like they went back to the Jim Curtin, just lob it up and see what we get. And I don't know if playing on a baseball field had anything to do with it,
Yes.
but that's what it looked like to me, right? So I think if they can go back and watch some film from the first 3 weeks and find what they were able to do that that made that offense um electric. You need something now for the fans to make it look like, okay, when Carranza left, Ty stepped up, right? When McGlynn left, got traded, it was Quinn who stepped up in Westfield, right? Those guys really stepped up. Elliott was gone. Now it's Gazdag is gone. Who's going to step up? They need that person. They need that player to step up and be that. Hey, Gazdag isn't here anymore. I'm here, and this is what we're going to roll with. And it needs to happen. It needs to happen these next 2 weeks at home, I think.
No, you're totally right. Again, it's time for someone to answer the bell. It's time for someone to step up and say, "Hey, look, this is my time now." Gazak's not here. He's not going to walk through that Union door anytime soon. The next time he walks through here is going to be on May 10th as an opponent. Got to get it out of your head. Now it's time for someone to step up and answer the bell. But like I said, if you're Atlanta and future opposition defenses, all you have to say is look at the playbook. Shut down Ty Barubo. What do they have?
It's out there.
And
The playbook is out there.
it's out there. And Bradley Cornell, like I said, this is to me is going to be the most interesting part going through this rough patch. Who is going to step up? Who's he seeing now through practice that's going to answer the bell? And to me, I like to see get Indiana, get Ua, and get Ty Bruvo out there. If that's going to be your pedigree as far as strikers, then you need to roll with it.
Yeah.
But you need 3 strikers on the field at the same time, and get a little bit more creative. Because if not, this is going to be an ugly loss at home. And if it gets any uglier, if there's no scoring that's going on, the SOBs will be
Oh, the
heard.
Boo Birds.
They will be sending out the Boo Birds early. Early.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, the defense is there for you. Like I said, I get it. You want to push all the center backs up when you're in an offensive zone to create up more opportunities to have more of a scoring options to have out there. But like you said, with an older Nathan Harriel and an older Glasnost, those guys are going to get cooked back there. And then you're leaving the opposition to make long stretch passes so where they can score on you. And then what?
Yeah. And it's not ideal. That's it's do they have the right personnel to run what Carnell wants to? And I think
Yeah.
that's what they're trying to figure out now. I think that's what they're trying to figure out now, the most.
Yeah, so guys, again, this is the It's a Rough Sports. The Attack and Third is back right here, season 5, episode 3. Talking more about this Atlanta matchup. If you're going down the game, let me and Steve know. We'll be down there. We're gonna have a good time. We want you guys to come out. We want you guys to
Yes.
enjoy it. And you guys, if you haven't yet, subscribe to all your social media platform to It's a Wrap. We talk all Philly sports and more right here on It's a Wrap Sports. But yeah, getting back into this, Steve. Big task at hand. A team that usually gives Philly the fits is Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like you said, their goaltending you can score on, but to me, it's going to be hard to do when there's only one guy who's willing to do any of the dirty work. So you're going to have someone come through. And it seems like their answer is going to be the puppies from Union 2 to a guy like Chris Alney, maybe a Cab Sullivan and such to come play. That to me is not going to get it done, but hey, maybe they got something else. Bradley Cornell is going to have to pull out all the tricks here and get this team back on track, get back in that win column because they need it.
I was going to ask you,
it.
do you think this is a time to maybe disguise some of the Gazdag pain of his void with some Cavan minutes at home for the fans?
Yeah, I see Cat. Yeah, right. Check this out. Hey guys, the Union win this
Joe, what's
Saturday.
up?
I'm calling it. What's up, Joey? Thanks, Joe Howe, my man. He said he's calling a Union win on Saturday. I don't see it.
What's your score,
But,
Joe? What's your score, Joe?
Joe,
What's your final
Joe,
score?
what's the prediction? What do you got, buddy? Yeah, listen, like I said, it's going to be a quite interesting game. Like I said, they got the goaltender you score on, but however, like I said, it just to me the playbook is simply easy to stop one guy and see what they have. He's got a 2-1 win Union.
Nice.
That's reasonable. Look, if that happens,
a win right now, I'll take it. I'll take it.
If they win on Saturday, I might do a cartwheel naked through the press box. Okay.
2-1.
I might scare
2-1, Joe said. So
I might scare some people. It's only going to take you a half hour to get over, but because the hairy banana is just too little. But anyway, like I said, the Philadelphia Union need to get back into the win column. But let's do something a little fun, Steve. Let's take a look around the league a little bit to go over some of the games, because there is a couple of games though on the slate, Steve, that look kind of interesting. And here goes one. I'm pretty sure you got written down to must watch TV, not to leave the couch. Is you have probably the game of the night. Big test for good old Daniel Gazdag as they host South Beach. It's Daniel Gazdag taking on Messier. Where are you going?
this is what's going to be hard, because this game is at 4:30, right? So it happens before the Union game. So if Gazdag goes out there and he came off the bench on Sunday against
St. Louis.
who they go up against?
St.
Louis. But he contributed in a way. You know, he was he was an impact player in a sense, that guy off the bench. And once he gets accustomed to playing with these guys, he's going to start, obviously. So if he goes out and he performs against Miami and Columbus gets a win against Miami, oh, you already know that's going to be. That game is going to be on people's phones pregame and at the tailgates. So no, I'm going to go with Columbus. You know, when the Gazdag trade came down, right? When the Gazdag trade came down, I was in shock, right? But I tried to talk myself into it's going to be okay, because there was a lot of times where he went invisible, right? They're going to be okay. And now that when you see them in a different uniform, it's like, damn, it hurts, you know? it hurts. So I don't know. I kind of hope he does well. So I got Columbus. I think Columbus does it against Miami.
I'm with you. To me, when the first, because again, these initial games, he only got his first goal of the year. I would say a couple weeks back. I'm like, oh, they can move on
Yeah.
without him, no problem. I didn't really think this was going to have a ripple effect like it was going to. And then I'm like, yeah, he's going to be that Andre Iguodala kind of a player where he's already got talent, but if you put him on a team that has even more talent, then the pain's going to hurt, and he's going to contribute, and he's going to where the pressure's not so much on him, and he's going to be able to do whatever he wants and cause some pain and agony to a lot of teams. And if he has a pair of goals or even a goal to like put the nail in the coffin, that kind of deal in Miami,
or an assist,
yeah, a lot
even
of
like a nice assist, you know.
And it doesn't look so well for the Union Saturday night. Yeah, a lot of butt hurts are going to be sore. And then, like I said, we got to see this guy in 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly what I want.
Why did they put this game at 4:30? Why would they put this game at 4:30?
Right.
Why couldn't this be on Sunday? I would be great if this was on Sunday.
Yeah, with no distractions. So
yeah, no distractions.
None at all. You have Austin, Texas, taking on LA Galaxy. I want to go with Texas.
I believe, yeah. I mean, Galaxy, I believe it hasn't won a game at all to start the season. So they're struggling. But yeah, no, I think it continues. I think you're right. I think Austin gets the win.
That's really crazy. Like I said, these
MLS.
Season,
that's just MLS, baby. That's MLS, baby,
MLS
for you. Love it.
I feel like Columbus is the only team that doesn't get affected with these
consistently
long seasons that they're having. Like every team since 22, since I've been covering the Union, with the new format of running into December, have fallen from grace. Like look at LA Galaxy, right? The champions. And they look like doormat team, like a doormat. Like they're out of fuel.
And that's why so many fans were so pissed about the Gazdag trade, because it was, well, that's who you traded him to. If you're going to trade him, why to them? So I get it.
And now, look, it's smart on Columbus' half, right? You look at it and go, we know we're probably going to have some fatigue legs because of the long season, because we're going to have to do U.S. Open Cup and Leagues Cup and all these other tournaments, and we had a long season. Why not bring in fresh meat, a guy who's led one of MLS's top stars, and we'll just take him away from Philly. Here goes some Q-tips and deodorant to solve your problems. And Tanner went.
At least it was some nice Q-tips. It was the actual name brand, you know, and it was some nice degree, or that's what I use, right? It was some nice deodorant, at least, you know.
Money I can be like,
jeez,
it really. Yeah, it's painful. It's Q-tips. Let's go around the league again. Let's take a look what's on. Again, we're talking. We got Philly and Atlanta. We got my Seattle Sanders taking on Nashville.
That'll be a good one, though.
I'm going to go Nashville.
You know, both teams coming off wins
in Seattle.
Both teams coming off wins, and this is in Nashville, right? Yeah. No, Seattle travels well.
In Seattle.
This is in Seattle?
It's in Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Give me the Sounders then. I'm going to Sounders.
You're going to Sounders. All right. Then we got New York Red Bull taking on DC United. I'm going to go DC United.
Wow, you're going with DC United. They need a win. So they're in the same boat. So that's going to be your theme this week. Teams that need wins are going to get some wins, right? So
Other than the Union,
yeah,
yes.
I can't ever root for the Red Bulls. So I'm gonna go with you. DC United. DC United for the win.
Decent. All right. Okay. Now we got a little Boston, New York action. After that, we have NCYC flying up to New England. Who do you have?
I got New England. They got a win against um Atlanta last week. I think they're gonna ride the momentum and get the win against NYCFC.
I'm going to go with Devil's Advocate. I'm going to go NYCFC. I think they're going to keep on those building momentums, as I like to say, and they're going to rock it
Keep
out.
on keeping
Then
on.
you have keep on keeping on. You have Orlando traveling all the way out to Montreal for a matinee game or night game themselves. I'm going to go Orlando.
Orlando, good. Because I like Montreal. I think
Do
they're
you?
trying to build something there. Yeah, they're trying to build
They need
something there on paper. On paper, they look good, but it's just not translating. But
no. Okay. And we got next matchup, a team that actually came out of the woodworks. It's actually on nobody's radar. The 5-2 Charlotte had hosting the brand new team San Diego. I am going to go Charlotte.
no, Charlotte was one of those teams at the beginning of the season that I looked at. They did a lot of work signing players in the off season. They were one of those teams where it was I saw Bogart constantly, oh, Charlotte making a signing, record team signing. And it was I'm not I have the guys here. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce their names. And so it's not even worth
No,
embarrassing
don't.
myself right now trying to pronounce the names. Yeah, you know how we do here. You know
No,
how we
no,
do on this
don't hurt
show,
yourself.
right?
I do. I'm notorious for that. I don't need you to take my job. I'm the butcher.
But no, Charlotte actually had. I am surprised though by San Diego and the success that they have, and I actually think
Yeah,
this is going to be the
the game
7:30
of the night.
you know game to watch. But we're
Okay,
going to be at the Union game. But
right.
if this right here is going to be a great match, and I got Charlotte. I got Charlotte.
You got Charlotte. Same. I'm going to go Charlotte. So we're going to rock the Charlotte boat. The Minnesota hosting Dallas.
Mm, this is one of those ones where I they have to put on free maybe to get me to watch it. But I'll
Okay.
go with Minnesota because
I'm
F
going to go
Dallas,
with
right?
yes. Every which possible way. Minnesota. You have St. Louis, Vancouver heading out to St. Louis.
This is Vancouver. They're
Yeah.
best team in MLS. So
Van,
this is Vancouver. St. Louis though, I'll tell you what, for as many L's that they've taken, strong defensive squad. Strong defensive squad. They can't do anything offensively. And this is the wrong team to
no,
be trying to fix anything up against.
to try to come up with a game plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with Vancouver. Just going to St. Louis, get a hot dog and steamrolling this team. Then you got Colorado heading out to Houston.
You know what? I'm Let me go with Houston. I like what I think McGlynn is starting to gel with those guys over there. Um I'm starting to see more highlights with him involved that aren't negative. So let me go. I'm going to go with Houston getting the
I'm going
win.
to go. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with the underdog here. I'm going to go with the Diamos. Go give me that. Give me the Diamo. Now you have another former Union player, Mr. Elliott, and the Chicago Fire hosting Cincinnati.
Did you happen to see any of those uh, pictures from Chicago last week playing at Soldier Field?
No,
It was wild. There's like 60,000 something people there. It was incredible to
nice.
uh, to see. Yeah, it was wild.
Were they all
Um,
chanting Elliott?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I didn't catch it. I just saw the pictures and the
Okay.
like some of the quick highlights from like people's personal um accounts and everything like that. But it was wild. But I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. Give me Cincinnati.
Yeah, unfortunately for Chicago Fire, they're hosting this one. I'm going to go Cincinnati as well. Then you have Salt Lake hosting Toronto. I'm going to go
There's
with Salt.
two struggling teams, man.
Two, I was going
Everyone,
to
there's a
say,
lot of struggling teams. There's a lot of struggling
yeah, a
teams right
lot of
now.
upset teams, not teams from last year making a pound. So I'm going to go Toronto. Toronto needs a win in the worst way.
I'm gonna go Salt Lake. I'm gonna go
Okay,
Salt
you go
Lake.
Salt Lake. All right, we have the Timbers. The Portland Timbers hosting LAFC. Where are you going on that one?
Late night. The late night ones. These are the ones you
Yes,
can catch after when you get home.
yes,
Um,
after dark.
I got a draw. I got a draw.
I know I didn't pencil in a draw. I didn't, but I'm going to go LAFC on this one.
I got a high scoring draw though, like a 3-3 sort of thing going on
Okay.
out there. I love the Timbers. I love the Timbers celebration where the guy cuts the log with the chainsaw when
Yes.
they score goal.
Yes.
That would be wild to be down there in their supporter section, something like that going on. You can't
Yeah.
have
Look,
that in Philly.
no, no, no. They don't hack. They just burn it. This is where my draw will come in. I'm going to
Grease it.
go, yeah, and climb up it. Uh, San Jose taking on Kansas City. I'm going to go draw here. I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
All right, there's your draw. Yeah, no, I got ooh, this is another one of those put on to go to sleep. Um, all right,
Yes.
San Jose 2-1. 2-1.
San Jose. All right. Well, listen, that was our picks for the week. Again, guys, if you are going down Saturday, please hit up me and Steve. We'll be down there. Guys, we'll be celebrating. We'll be hopefully celebrating. We'll be hanging out, wanting to meet the people and all that stuff. So, Steve, listen, we're going to get ready to wrap up the program here. This has been a great hour of pain, pleasure. We hopefully we could talk about a win for because if
Yes.
not, I think our antennas are going to go
Manifest a
up and
win.
start asking some hard questions here. So,
I think Lukic has a big game
ooh,
this week.
you're
I
going to go
think
look
he's
at.
the I think he's the X factor.
Okay, I'm going to go. I think this is a Baribo bounce back game right here. That's what I have. Baribo gets the job done, and hopefully we'll be talking about a Philadelphia Union win. So, guys, yeah, I'm going to
There
go
we
to
are.
Baribo. I'm going to go to
Our glitch.
Baribo. I think Baribo's going to it's going to be a 1-0 Baribo. I'm hoping Baribo gets the job done.
1-0 Baribo.
Yes.
I'm gonna go 2-0.
2-0.
I think the defense is holding up well enough. I'm gonna go 2-0, and I'm gonna go Lukic and Quinn
Okay.
have goals. Yeah, no tie to Kai, no Kai to tie connection. I think it's gonna be something different. That's gonna spark this win.
Yeah. Listen, I hope you're right. So we'll see what happens. But everyone, look, I want to say thank you for joining the
This is
attacking.
the last week I have in me of positivity, though, because I'll tell you
Yes.
what, they go out there and they lose. I'm getting ready to start predicting L's out here. Okay.
Hey, listen, the Yell train's going to start rolling in here. If that's not already creeped in the back of my mind. But anyway,
Yeah.
listening, I want to say thank you to everyone who's joined us, Joe, Hal, Ricky, everyone who's chimed in. And we want to say thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll see you at the game. And yeah, guys, go Union.